teams if you performed, and I thought that was a good breakthrough.
For me personally, I think the relationship worked really well. He's a pretty hard taskmaster, very good disciplinarian within that group, and tactically fantastic, and a stickler for doing the simple things well. And that's something that we were letting ourselves down. We were not doing the little 1%ers well.
I think Australian cricket realised that it was time for change. We needed someone there, and he was a perfect person. He was strict on discipline. We trained very hard. That was a priority. We learned, obviously, our catching skills improved a lot, and we just worked together as a unit. We were focused on improving and trying to reach a certain level, whereas I think before that it was just hoping rather than knowing you were going to do well.
We were in the jigsaw stage where we were trying to build the side, you know, and we had about 5 definite starters to fill jigsaw points, and we probably had Stephen Wall, we had Alan Border, Jeff Marsh, David Boone, and probably also Craig McDermott, with Dean Jones in the wings.
Australia's slow climb back to becoming a power in world cricket commenced in the stifling heat and humidity of Madras, India in September 1986. In temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius and 90% humidity, 25-year-old Dean Jones, playing in only his 3rd test, batted for 8.5 hours, battling extreme dehydration and physical exhaustion.
I got to about 120 odd, and then I started to have shutdown in my body. My hands were going up, and I had to open them up and, you know, and stop them for cramping, and everything was just cramping everywhere, and I was starting to vomit everywhere. And I was just shot dark, it really was.
Back then we didn't really know a lot about hydration and all those sort of different things. We used to drink heaps of bottles of soft drink.
The team was brilliantly organised for Dino. It was all around Dino at that stage. He would come in and the cold bath would be there. Ice would be in the bath. One player would take off Dino's pads, another one would take off the clothes. He'd be dumped in the bath to stop the dehydration, also to cool down.
Alan Border said to me right on 180, or when I was crook, I said to him, I want to go off. I'm too tired, I'm vomiting everywhere, I'm stopping the game.
I knew Greg Ritchie was batting next, and Dino's a very passionate Victorian. So I said, oh, well, that's fine, mate, we'll get someone who's pretty tough out here. We'll get a Queenslander out here. At least we have someone who's pretty tough.
But he was telling us, well, here's the standards. If you want to play cricket for Australian cricket, you have to go through a wall for us.
He had the bat, and you know, under normal circumstances, he probably would have hit me with it. And he said, "Yeah, like, can't mention the words he said to me, but off was one of them." It probably did lift him a little bit, but you know, he went very quickly from 180 odd to 210. I think he ended up with,
and that's it. I collapsed, and I was buckled up and shriveled up like that because I was cramping all over my body. Errol Alcott put us in the ambulance.
I found out subsequently that he'd collapsed in the dressing sheds and was in a bad way, and they'd had to rush him off the hospital and got him on the drip. So that's when I started to think, oh, what have I done to this bloke? I've nearly killed him.
So they put 7 bottles of saline drip into me, and I didn't wake up until midnight that night. So it was a hectic time. You know, I really didn't understand the hassles of, you know, dehydration. And lose 7 kilos in a day was pretty ugly.
The courage to get through to that point of 210 of just total physical exhaustion, and yeah, they get much better.
2 declarations by Alan Border during the match left India needing to score 348 on the final day. Gavaskar set India on the path to victory with a glorious 90. His dismissal, a magnificent catch by Jones off Bright, gave Australia a glimmer of hope.
Just as we got our nose in front and we start to sort of tack, we can win the game now. You know, someone like Ravi Shastri, he was in there hitting the ball and starts hitting a few sixes.
Needing to average 6 runs and over, Ravi Shastri maintained India's victory charge, hitting Matthews into the stand. Several acrimonious incidents finally unsettled Pandit, who played on to Matthews, and the message was clear as the 6th Indian batsman departed. Played on. 4 overs to go, 17 needed. Sharma holed out to McDermott, and it was 7 for 331. Kieran Moray aimed a sweep at Ray Bright. He was adjudged LBW, 8 for 334. The world's best number 10, Yadav, launched the assault at Matthews. Four to win. Yadav went for the winning stroke, but he was bowled off his pads by Bright, 9 for 344. The last over, still 4 to win. Shastri scores 2.
I can only really recall 2 balls in that last over. One of those was one I misfielded a deep backward square. Went to pick it up, and I say I got a pretty dodgy bounce, but...
So we were sort of trying to work out, well, is he going to try and just go for it, or how do we set the field so he can't get a 2 to win the game?
Shastri levels the scores, exposing Maninder Singh.
Ball's tied.
If I take the single, that's the last thing Alan Border wants me to do, really, because then India can't lose, and anything can happen.
Singh survives the 4th ball of the final over.
2 balls to go.
I was at, I think it's square leg, and I was just praying that the ball wasn't going to come to me. I didn't want to make 2 mistakes in an over.
I told him, wait for the last ball. See if you can score off the first 2. Last one, just go for it. You have nothing to lose. But before that, there was Uncle Vikram Raju, who was there right out of Texas, shooting his finger up in a hurry.
The match has ended in a tie. It's an unbelievable result. History has been made here at the Chidambaram Stadium at Chepauk.
My hand is up because there was a definite nick. In my mind, there's a definite nick. The ball hit it. And if you look at AB,
I didn't even shout. I was just diving with the ball. Even though I'm about this far from the wickets, you're still thinking, if they run, you've got to grab the ball. So I'm diving for the ball. And as I turn around, I see the umpire's finger up, and our boy's just going absolutely berserk.
The hardest thing was one scoreboard said we're in front by 1, and the other scoreboard said it was tie. So
the celebrations have started. Turn back. Ooh, his hand has already gone up and come down. I said, what happened there? He said, no, he's out. I said, when did you give him out? I couldn't see it. By the time I turned around, everyone was walking off the park.
And you're still convinced to this day that it was an inside edge?
Oh, absolutely.
Half us thought we've won, and the other half thought, oh, it's a tie. Until Bob Simpson come in and grabbed us. No, it's a tie, it's a tie. So it was quite a weird feeling, actually.
Then the realisation sort of hits you that it's a tie. That's just... That doesn't happen. Ties, we've only had one tie, the famous tie. So, it was just euphoric.
I remember storming into the umpire's room straight away, and having a real go at Vikram Raju. In this day and age, I would have been banned maybe for a year, for all you know, and gave him a real service over there. And he said, it is the right decision, and I'm glad to be part of history. By putting that finger up and being involved in only the second tied test match. I looked at him and I said, you frickin' beauty.